ESPN and the NFL have struck a landmark agreement that reshapes the media and fantasy football landscape. Among the biggest changes, ESPN will acquire NFL Network and the fan-favorite RedZone channel, giving the sports media giant unprecedented control over the league's television and digital footprint. In exchange, the NFL will receive a 10% equity stake in ESPN, signaling a deeper alignment between the two powerhouses. The deal also includes a major shift in the world of fantasy football. ESPN is set to absorb the NFL's official fantasy platform, meaning NFL fantasy leagues will eventually be folded into the ESPN Fantasy Football app. Once merged, ESPN Fantasy Football will officially become the NFL's fantasy game of record. While the timeline for the merger remains uncertain, ESPN has stated its intention to integrate the NFL's fantasy data into its own system. The transition is pending regulatory and NFL ownership approval, which makes it unlikely the merger will be completed before the 2025 NFL season. As such, users of the NFL Fantasy app will likely be able to continue using it for at least one more season. Fantasy football managers are already noticing changes. On August 4, ESPN quietly rolled out a new update to its fantasy app, enhancing roster management features and personalizing the experience across teams and leagues. Whether these changes are related to the merger remains unclear, but they suggest ESPN is preparing to support a larger user base and more data-rich integration. For longtime NFL fantasy users, the transition to ESPN may bring both excitement and uncertainty. ESPN's platform already boasts robust tools, content, and community features. The addition of the NFL's proprietary data and league branding could make it the most comprehensive fantasy football hub available. Still, questions remain. ESPN has yet to release detailed information about how league histories, scoring settings, or user data from NFL Fantasy will be migrated. Until that information is released, fantasy managers may need to prepare for a transition period while both platforms coexist. This merger represents more than just a business transaction, it's a consolidation of two of the largest fantasy football audiences into one centralized platform. As the 2025 season nears, the fantasy football world will be watching closely to see how these sweeping changes play out.